Welcome back, match week 8. Let's just hop right into it. Varner, give us a little update. Go ahead and talk
I'll
to
give
me.
us the scores and a tough week for me.
Yeah,
Brock
and all metrics considered, tough
Oh.
week for you.
Tough.
The lowest score we've seen.
Oh, stop that. It was a...
Question of the week. Is 3 the lowest point total we'll see all season?
Wait, 4. We got a last minute
Oh,
addition,
okay, yes, he's
right?
got the last minute.
So we had the scores being 4-7 last week. We had a last minute addition of a game. We had Burnley-Luton.
We were gentlemen about it. Texted, locked it in.
Locked in the scores via text, and we both ended up snagging a point there. So that brought our totals from 6-3 to 7-4, which is the tally of the week, which brings the overall total to. Do you remind me what it was?
48,
48
you, 53, me.
So I cut down that 5-point gap, and then it's been extended back.
Yeah.
But this is my week to cut into it. It's my week to cut into it again. And so let's just get into it.
Yeah.
Right. I'll go ahead and let's just get into
Kick
the
us
first
off with
match.
the first fixture.
Yeah, we have Spurs against Luton Town, up the town. They get their first win, then they get beat by Burnley. What are they going to do here against the Spurs?
And I don't know, I feel like I've watched a couple of their games when they played at home, and there's just something so special about that ground. And it looks like such a tough place to play. Like the grass doesn't look up to par. Everything just looks below standards. But I think a quality side, Spurs have been paying it about. It's the kind of stadium that you think they'll struggle in. I still think they get the job done. 2-0. Spurs. 2-0. They've moved the ball so well, coming off of a criminal victory.
We'll get into that more.
I think they also played well. It kind of put a damper on what arguably would have been probably the game of the season so far.
Yeah.
But I think Spurs have played well, and they've passed the eye test for sure. But can they go into a stadium like, what is it even called? I forget these days.
Kenilworth Road.
Kenilworth Road.
Brilliant.
And get a point. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 points.
I'm gonna take you up on the same score. 2-0 to Spurs.
Yeah.
They'll get the job done. It will be, they'll be compact in the back. It'll be hard to break them down. They'll get it done.
Yeah.
2-0.
2-0. That takes us to Burnley against Chelsea. One of those games where it's like, this seems like a straightforward pick, but the Chelsea we've seen, they've been hot and they've been cold. Interested to see what you think. They've just played your team, so you got to see a lot more of them than you probably would have. And how you're
that's
gonna
what people have been talking about it all year. Like, they've passed the XG test. They've been possession-wise, they've played really, really well.
Data merchants. They're data merchants. Me on FM, I'm like, everything's good, everything's fine. Don't sack me.
But I mean, the reality is, it's just getting that finishing ability. It's finally getting. It takes a while to integrate a new style into a team.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
The reality
is, young team, first year as a manager, like, they're gonna start playing the way they could potentially, like that we can see in the Matrix, but we haven't quite seen on the field yet.
Right.
And Burnley's not that good this year, unfortunately. Unfortunately, they haven't been good, and so I think this will be 2-0 to Chelsea.
2-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think it'll be the same spread. I have it at 3-0. I think Chelsea is capable of a lot of goals. And I think all of the underlying data proves that. And we saw a little bit of that against Fulham.
Yeah.
Just creating quality chances, and I think you're going to start seeing them put away, and I think this is the kind of weekend where they kind of explode and run off with a couple of goals. But
yeah.
Easy enough.
Good
analysis. Cheers.
Yep.
Next game.
Next game. Everton versus Bournemouth for our next one.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I think that, dude, I don't know. It's one of those ones. These are obviously two sitting really low squads, and I just look at this game, Goodison Park. What a ground. It's going to be a shame to not have it in the Prem anymore, but because it's a new stadium, that's why. But, yeah, I think they get the job done. 1-0, Everton win.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they're going to get the job done.
They're going to scrape and claw and get it done.
Get it done. I think they get it done.
Okay, I'm going to go sit on the fence. 1-1.
1-1. That's fair. Okay. Yeah, that takes us to your lovely Fulham. Back at the Cottage again, against Sheffield. This is bounce back opportunity, right?
Yep.
This is the kind of fixture that you would want to see after having to play Chelsea. A chance to get back on track. Do you think they get the job done? Is the question.
Just seeing the way they played on Monday was ridiculous. There was no pace. There was no. It just didn't feel. It just felt flat.
Yeah.
It felt flat. You're sitting there seeing this possession style soccer. They're building up and then they're not creating any chances whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there being like, where are the changes? Where are these players like Iwobi who came in and keeps having these great cameos? Is he going to start this weekend?
Yeah, right.
Ream with a terrible mistake. Is he finally too old for the Prem? I don't know. And so I think there's going to be a response, and I think Sheffield's kind of the team you probably wanted to play.
Yeah.
But all things considering, 8 points after what has it been 7 games isn't the worst place.
No, you're not in a bad spot.
It's not the worst place in the world, and so this is a big game to get 3 points. And so I have it 2-1.
2-1. So a scrape and a claw. Yeah, I got to watch a bit of Fulham as well. And my thing just sitting here making predictions is where's the goals going to come from? Yeah. You never really look threatening, but then in the second half you started to look threatening. Could have been a shout for a couple chances. I don't know. It's one of those games I feel like there's not going to be a whole lot of goals in it.
Yeah.
I do think that Fulham will go pick up 3 points.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you guys winning 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah.
1-0. That brings us to Man United versus Brentford.
Yeah.
What a interesting game.
It is.
It's a tough one to pick.
It is a tough one to pick. I don't want to be put in the position where I'm picking it first. So I'm going to just preface this. United, we just keep seeing them get themselves close and then are dropping points. Mm-hmm. Højlund, we don't talk a whole lot about European nights, but Højlund looked exceptional in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I think even just the way that you see him move. I was watching him play in the Champions League game, and he was running and shrugging off a defender, and I stopped and I was like, he kind of looked like Haaland when he was doing that. And I know it's ridiculous. I might get flamed for it, but I think he's a real talent.
He's good.
I think it's just a matter of time before things start clicking for the United squad. But I want to hear what you think.
No, it's just the game.
It's one of those things I have to go pick United, and I think they get the job done. 3-1.
3-1.
I think there will be quite a bit of goals in this. Brentford hasn't really impressed me since the start of the season.
And see, that's where I was about to go. I was about to say we're talking all about United struggling, but Brentford have struggled.
Yeah,
They
really struggled.
Yeah, they've struggled. They're not losing games, but they're drawing every game they can.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just
another draw.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. No, like you said, United a tough week.
Yeah.
A tough week. 2 very, very difficult games. 2 losses. Yeah. And so I think this is the one where they get a win.
I just know Ten Hag, he's out there somewhere doing jogs with the team. He's saying, we got to run more, boys.
And so I will go 2-1 United.
2-1 United.
Yep.
That takes us Palace. Selhurst Park against Nottingham Forest. This is another hard one to pick.
Mid-table scrap.
To be completely honest. These are 2 teams that I rate pretty highly as far as what they're doing with their club so far. Forest has really impressed me to this point, just with what the horses in their stable. But it's one of those ones. I don't know. I feel like it could go either way. I think Palace being at home is a huge advantage.
Definitely.
And I think that'll sway the result. But what do you think?
You just keep tossing it back to me.
I picked first last time.
I'm going to sit on the fence for this one.
Yeah.
This just feels like one of those games where Forest will snag one and then Palace will nick it back late. So I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1.
1-1, sit on the fence for this one.
Yeah. And for me, I want to sit on the fence, but I just can't. As a huge loss, picks up the hamstring injury.
Yeah.
That's where I see Palace's goals coming from. I think he's a huge creator on the team, and I think more than anything, that's a mental loss, right? To lose a player like that. And so I'm going to just go for it, and I'm going to say Forest win the game 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah,
wow, you think there's 3 games or 3 goals in it?
I think there's 3 goals in it.
All right.
And I think, a 2-1 scoreline.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That brings us to the Sunday fixtures. We have a really, really good one to start the Sunday off. We have Brighton versus Liverpool. And now we can talk about it. Liverpool absolutely mugged off, huh?
Liverpool. Just absolutely done in. Yeah. And I'm gutted for them. all you Liverpool fans, just know that from
us here at And We Go Predictions,
yes.
feel for you.
Just know, like, you can reach out at any time. I'm always here for you. But with that being said, despicable.
Yep.
Really shameful. Honestly, it's kind of.
Did you end up getting it to listen to?
Yeah, I went and listened to it, and it's just like, what a bummer, because it's like a game, and really the thing that I was most impressed with was how Liverpool responded, and this is not the first time we've seen it, right? They go down and they face fighting. Adversity and they power through, and that's a sign of a really, really high level team.
And they hang in there. They kept it 1-1 for so long.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. 95th minute own goal. You feel like they were going to get the point after all the adversity, and then they just lose it at the death.
Yeah. And
it was like there was the resilience, there was fight, there was everything you wanted to see.
Yeah. And then the flip side of this fixture is, like, we talk about it all the time. We think Brighton always shows up for the big games, but they always struggle with the small ones. True. And we've seen that hold true. And so for me, I'm sitting here like, wow, Liverpool's really impressed me. They're off the back of a horrible mistake like this. It's really such a shame.
Yeah.
They're going to be out for vengeance. Which say do I read? Do I lean on this or I lean on that? And I'm going to go forward with what I've seen. Old reliable. 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1.
We've seen it so much.
3-1.
And I've just got to go to old reliable.
That's mine too. I think I might be saying 3-1 for almost every Liverpool fixture for the whole year.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with you there. 3-1 Liverpool.
Yeah. Cool. That takes us to the next game. Going to London. West Ham take on Newcastle.
What a special club. We watched the game today.
Yeah.
Took down the French giants, PSG, in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolute scenes.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
They were up for it.
European Their fans were absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, and we got to talk about it a little bit before the pod. Is, man, the European atmosphere is so special.
Really
to see the fans turn up for that and really celebrate.
Away days.
The city pride
are so hard.
It's hard, yeah. And it's one of those things, I feel like Newcastle has strung together a good couple of results here.
Yeah.
That's the kind of win that really, like, cements a locker room, cements the traveling fans are going to be up for it.
Yep.
And for me, this just tells me everything I need to know that Newcastle's going to go on to win that game.
Yep. And that's no harp against West Ham. I mean, they've been having a really, really good start to the season, but the way Newcastle are playing right now.
Yeah. Sometimes you just see the culture, and I think there's goals in it for them. I have it going 3-1.
3-1.
Newcastle beating West Ham.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll take 2-0 Newcastle.
Yeah, keep the shutout.
Yeah, keep the shutout, get the 3 points.
I think West Ham's dangerous enough to get a goal.
Yeah.
But
they're just so counter-reliant, and I think Newcastle do a really good job.
So you think that the goals that they're able to produce outweigh, like, maybe going for 2-1? You think there'll be more goals in it for you?
I'm going 2-0. 2-0.
Yeah.
2-0. 100%. Yeah. Cool. Feeling good about that.
Good. I'm glad. I hope so. He needs it.
Oh, man. Do I. That brings us to Wolves versus Villa. Kind of a fun game. Wolves at home.
Yeah.
And we saw what they did at home last week, right? Oh, my goodness. The rest of the Prem thanks the Wolves for that win last week against City at home. Yeah. And before we say anything about Villa's amazing win last week, we have to talk about Neto. What a player!
What a player!
What a player!
Yeah, I was hearing rumors of, like, this question. There's, like, these 3 players you can sub in and out. You want to just fire it off?
I'll fire it off. We have a start bench cut. We love doing this.
We're back with it.
We love doing this.
It's just a bit of fun.
It's fun. So again, in the comments, we want to hear your start bench cut. We have Neto, we have Mbeumo from Brentford, and then we have Bowen from West Ham.
Yeah.
Start bench cut those 3. What do you have for us?
Yeah, man, without being prepped with any data, just for me, it's off of vibes. Just off vibes, I'm going Bowen.
Okay.
Mbeumo.
Neto cut.
Neto's cut.
Wow.
After his heroics,
but his start to the season has been brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, even like some of his goals have just been just remarkable.
I'm just pandering. I want the City fans to be vibrant. I know this is gonna be something that they're gonna show up for, and so I'm just trying to get them active in the comments.
I'm going to start. Oh wow, this is actually.
It is tough. Like once I sat with it, I was like,
I'm gonna cut Mbeumo.
Okay.
He's a really, really good player.
Yeah.
But I think just where right now, if I were to start bench cut these 3 players, I would probably cut him.
Yeah.
I would want to start Neto because of the form.
Yeah.
And I would want to keep Bowen because also the form.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see Bowen and Neto
interchanging.
But I think right now, just based upon the last the Wolves' last 3 matches, Neto was just so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I was going career.
Yeah.
So.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think on that start bench cut, and that brings us to the prediction of this one. Villa coming off a 6-1 win against Brighton. Yeah. What a result! Ollie Watkins hat trick. I mean, what a team! I've been on him all year. Yeah,
and they've done something special, and then Wolves obviously coming off of a really good result, coming back to the home fans.
Exactly.
It's like this is a tough one to sit here and wrestle with, but for me, I think it's got to be Villa.
It's got to be Villa.
It's got to be Villa, and I think it's got to be. I think there's goals in this Villa side. Yeah. I think I got to go cheeky little 3-1. I'm interested to go back and look at all the 3-1s I threw out there, but this just feels like a classic 3-1.
It just feels like a 3-1. Yeah. It really does.
No shutouts. I can't rule a shutout.
Yeah, it's just these Prem teams always nick weird goals. Yeah. That's just the reality of it. So I'm also going to go with that 3-1. Villa's just been flying, and there's goals in that team. Yeah. There's a lot of goals. And that brings us to our match of the week. Oh my goodness. Oh man, this is a big one.
Yeah,
it's a big one. Context of the league.
I've thrown on
the go
for a just prayers up. It's a big week. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we have Arsenal against City at the Emirates for our match of the week. This is
match of the week. Doubles the points for a perfect prediction. This just heavily favors Jordan in this situation. He's got the freedom. Obviously, I'm emotionally invested in this result.
And again, we're doing a thing with the match of the week where we're gonna flip who predicts it first. So Brock predicted it first last week, so it's on me. So I'll take it right here. I'm gonna throw out my result. I'm gonna go prediction. I'm gonna go 2-1 to City.
Okay.
And all week I was sitting there thinking about this game. And you see City lose to Wolves. Mm-hmm. You see Arsenal lose to Lens in the Champions League. Yeah. And you're just sitting here being like, oh my goodness, both of these teams, we've seen spurts of them playing really, really well.
Yeah.
And we've seen, there's really a possibility for whatever to happen. And again, my heart's also being like, oh, come on, Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
But I just think
half-heartedly.
Cities come and play for these big games.
Yeah.
They always do. They're just a machine when it comes down to it, and so I think 2-1 will be the result, and that's without us even talking about the biggest storyline, which is
and obviously we take the away trip. Lens, what a venue, what an atmosphere. It's a tough loss, but
there's a bigger loss.
The biggest loss is Bukayo Saka picking up a knock.
Yeah.
All signs immediately after is muscular, not really sure.
It's not looking
and so
good, is what
for me
said.
that for me that tells me that we're likely going to be without our star boy.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, this has been the kind of game that Arsenal has not been able to show up for. We've desperately needed and wanted to show up for it, but we haven't been able to. You look back to last year, you get thumped. And it's one of those ones where we're going back to the Emirates. This is the kind of game that Arsenal has to be able to begin winning.
Yep, 100%.
And for me, I think it's possible. Even without Saka, this team is bigger than just one player, and that's what we have to be.
That's what you have to be to compete for a Premier League title.
And I think the expectation is fully there, and man, I really want to see him get it done. And if it is going to happen, the scoreline will have to be 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1.
I can't see it being anything other than that.
Yeah.
And so I'm locking in my scoreline 2-1 to the Arsenal.
There you go. Tune in Sunday.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And please drop your predictions on this
drop your predictions.
I mean, this is a huge game.
Biggest game of the season, just
for the context
everything.
of the league.
Context of the league. the animosity that's surrounded with
everything that happened last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot in it.
There's a lot
to unpack.
There's a lot in it. And so we're going to go ahead and throw up the graph right now.
Graphics. Cheers.
Yep. Always, everyone just in the comments drop how much you're grateful for Joel Van Zyl. He is beautiful. He really clutches up for us, makes us look a little bit more official.
Yeah.
And so, cheers out to Joel. And that all being said, thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.
Cheers.